This is why this knowledge is important, because if you don't ask about the planning status and you don't find out that there is missing planning or inaccurate planning, and you don't know how to fix it, you will face problem. But my job and my coaching is to say to you, let's find some of these quirky problem child properties, because once we know that we can fix it, and we can fix it straight away after we buy it. I'll give you an example. I bought a block of 4 flats in Margate a few years ago. I paid 330,000 when the price was around 500,000, but he couldn't sell it. It'd been on the market for about 18 months. He had planning for 2 instead of 3 flats. And I then, before I bought it, I asked all the questions, all the things that I will teach you guys if you ever get to that point, what you need to check that you can prove. Once I could find that I could prove this, I applied for the certificate of lawfulness. I got it within 4 weeks of completion, and my value went from 330 to 500,000 immediately, because that 3rd flat then was in play. So fixing problems is what we do. This is what I'm teaching you guys to look for. Don't go subsidence. I don't touch those. Where that one, the land is moving underneath and the house is starting to break. I don't touch those. Structural stuff I don't really touch, but paperwork stuff is what we're looking at fixing, and that is the biggest kind of gain you can make. Look at the drug den that I bought, 10 flats with a cannabis farm. Nobody wants to touch it. The whole wiring is completely all over the place. It was a disgusting building, but I made £800,000 of uplift.
Wow!
Right, fixing problems. It's a lot of problems, but you got to fix it. And the more you can fix those bigger problems, it's always in life, right? The bigger problem you fix, the more reward you get.
Yeah.
Okay, so 7. So the last 3 criteria that we need to check these buildings have before we can buy them. Number 7 is an obvious one. We say, is it a freehold? Can you check that this is a actual freehold property? You ask the agents. You will see on the listings. And the second, the other one is, remember the flying freehold issue? We don't touch those because we're not interested in those at all. So when you get there, you're like, all right, got a minute. I didn't realize this was hanging over this. And that's why site visit is important. Number 8 is around tenancies. So, so now there is some different stuff like you need to kind of learn. So Section 21 is phasing out next year. So, we can have a choice of, and actually, funny enough, probably the last 2 or 3 months, I've seen more blocks of flats being sold vacant than tenanted. Because before, the exiting landlord would have wanted to keep his income coming in and then say, well, buy it with a tenant. Now I'm seeing probably, it used to be 90-10, 90 tenanted, 10% vacant in the last 15 years I've been doing this. Now, in the last 3 months or so, I think the balance is shifting to, I'm seeing not 10, I'm seeing about 25% of the blocks that we're buying are vacant. So when you go there, you're checking either it's vacant or it's tenanted, and then you want to see what kind of people live in it and what kind of tenant, what kind of conditions are they keeping the property. You want to ask, are the tenancies legally compliant? And you will get something after read this course that will help you check whether these tenants are legally compliant. Because if they're not, it's not like we can't buy it, but again, a problem child we need to fix, and we want a discount for it. So these are the things that we will cover once we get to your point where after the first 4 weeks you start to buy, you find one, and then you say, there's a problem here. Okay, let me fix it for you. Let's talk about how we can fix that. Because I can't give you everything and every scenario, but what I'm telling you is we can fix pretty much anything, but let's see which one you end up buying, and then we'll fix that. Okay? And the last one, sorry. Go on.
Any example for on the legally non-compliance?
Yeah. Oh, an example. So why are they not compliant? So, for example, the landlord did not protect the deposit. The landlord did not serve gas cert, electricity, EPC. The landlord has got no EICR in place. Or there's so many reasons, but the majority is tenancy agreement, tenancy deposit protected. They didn't serve this thing called how to rent guide, all the legally required stuff that you need to do. Yeah. Okay. So if you don't have that, it's not like we can't buy it. We can fix it, but we have to fix it. Actually, I'll give you an example. Today, in fact, one of my mentees is buying a block of flats up north, 5 flats, and we found out the seller are abroad, and there was a problem around the deposit protection. So we said, look, you haven't protected the deposit. This is the way that we suggest we proceed forward, and we're going to fix it. So nothing is in vain, but this is why people couldn't sell it, because people got to that point, they're like, oh God, I can't buy it because it's got this issue. We can fix it, but we got a very good discount on it. And that's why I was coaching this person on. Okay, the number 9 is around